The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
All right, it's time to talk about The Walking Dead, The World Beyond. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we are The Podcasting Dead. So getting into this first episode, JP, I was blown away at how amazing it was. Just boom, boom, pow. Oh, my God, this show was fantastic, and I know you feel the same. Tell me what you loved the most about it. It's a lot to choose from.
About 10 minutes in, I decided to fix a baked potato. I had some Boston butt that had come out of the crock pot, so I kind of like pull that apart and get some barbecue sauce over it. And by the time my potato's done, I put the saucy barbecue pulled pork on the potato, microwave it again, and man, that was a treat. It was delicious.
You're a saucy barbecued pulled pork.
Oh man, it was wonderful.
I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, I'm sure some people were like, all right, I'm leaving. They clearly liked it. But for those still here, no, being sarcastic there. Not going to lie, The World Beyond. JP absolutely didn't like it. I was bored, but I have a theory, and I think I agree with JP's opposition of this, but I'm hoping that he's wrong. So just to start off with, The World Beyond, it was pretty slow and pretty boring. But I like to try and be optimistic. I'm thinking that this is big. I mean, of course it's build up, but I'm thinking this episode needed to be slow, and I'm thinking it needed to be laid back because they really needed you to understand how cushy these kids have it. They needed you to understand how normal their life is. I mean, they're worried about getting busted for alcohol and going to class. Meanwhile, everything we've seen up to this point are people struggling on the road just to find something to eat. I think they really wanted you, and I think they definitely went a little overboard with it because it resulted in a fairly boring episode. Or not even fairly, a really boring episode. But I'm hoping they're on the road now, so I'm thinking it's going to get a lot better. But my thing is I'm really being optimistic and thinking that it was as slow as it was because they really wanted to flesh out just how good these people have it so that when they're on the road making mistakes and just, not being these ass-kicking zombie fighters that we're used to seeing in the other shows, that you completely understand why. Because it's one thing just to say, oh, they're a kid and throw them out there. But now we really have a good sense of what they're going into.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I didn't think the dialogue was all that interesting. I don't know. I don't really feel attached to any of the characters. Like the first episode of Breaking Bad, and I know that's like comparing Mozart to me,
Mozart to Nickelback.
Right. I mean,
Nickelback obviously being the master of music, and Mozart being, terrible.
But that like the first episode of Breaking Bad was on the slow side a little bit until the end, but still, like, it left me with like characters I was starting to get invested in, and at this point, like, the only kid I even really remember is the McLovin looking kid with the corduroy suit, and that's just because I love corduroy.
I like your pants around your feet.
Oh, that too.
Nickelback song for those that aren't aware. No, I mean, I feel connected to I feel connected to the girls to an extent. Like, I do like that ending. I do like that she, we see, she's like this rogue character, and we see what she's been through. And I mean, her shooting the pregnant lady was terrible. I mean, in a good way. Like, I'm glad they did that. And then to know that was the mom of the guy she's going on this journey with, who's probably not aware that he's with someone who killed his mom,
right,
could definitely lead to some great storytelling. And that's why I'm being optimistic. They're moving the parts into the right places. They just need to go ahead and make the move. Because it's like you said last night, while I am being optimistic. I am thinking that it's going to end up being good. I do agree with you in the fact that, man, most of the time with your pilot, dude, you've got to come out the corner swinging.
Yeah, man.
You got to hook us.
If you're like a casual fan, I mean, there's so many Walking Dead fans that are having trouble holding on to the main series as it is. I mean, the numbers decline, the numbers are still astronomical. It's probably the most watched show on cable.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, you've got a franchise that's kind of, limping along, man. You need to come out the gate just swinging,
Yeah. Yeah, and this just felt something like it. Like you said off mic earlier, it felt like I was watching the CW there for a little while.
Yeah, it really did. I don't know. I think they missed a good opportunity to really give us just a shot in the nuts, just like, damn, wow.
I mean, I wouldn't have mind. Again, I'm an amateur writer. I've never been paid for my writing, so my writing opinion really doesn't amount to crap.
Been paid for writing commercials,
but that's true. That's true. I have made a living on that, but. I don't know. I feel like I would have shown their cushy life in like flashbacks or something throughout the episode. You know what I mean? Like some way you could have had. And when I say action, keep in mind that I'm using action as an umbrella, blanket umbrella. What's the umbrella term or blanket term? Just for not necessarily like fighting and balls to the wall, zombie slaying, but just stuff happening.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like. I would have probably told their backstory in flashbacks. Maybe even had them in like a just straight up. You join them in it looks like they're gone situation, and you're seeing flashbacks of how they got to this point. But all right. So the episode starts off with homegirl hitching a ride on the bus, which that Walker that was pretty cool. The way that Walker got busted in half, and then the top half wound up right there. And we meet the CRM and we meet the head of those, and she gets a middle finger, which that did crack me up. I thought it was hilarious. Everyone's receiving her like royalty, and she looks over and bam, F you, CRM. Who do you think's telling the truth? So, she's telling them that no, everything's fine. Your dad's sending code messages. They're not literal, but he's just straight up like, it's all awful. I'm keeping my head down. I love you girls. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. You would think, civilization has got to the point to where you could at least have, like, mail, like letters being curried back and forth. I mean...
Hell no, we're more advanced than that. We got fax.
Yeah, I mean, just something. You would think there'd be some communication. So, yeah, something fishy's going on.
Do you think the CRM are evil?
Yeah, I think they're probably evil.
It definitely has a very... I don't want to say Nazi vibe to it, but it definitely has a very...
Fascisty.
Yeah, like a very fascisty kind of feel to them. Though I'm not going to lie, she was very polite when she arrived.
Yeah, you got to give her that. But most fascists do have good manners.
That's true.
Usually do.
That's very true. They're very charismatic. Yeah. So this takes place 10. I guess if I'm keep in mind, man, I have like JP. I believe we both have a hard time remembering details when we're bored.
And plus, it was so late last night.
But so this takes place 10 years after the apocalypse started, is the way I'm seeing it. 10 years, they were celebrating the 10-year.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like the world had already ended, and maybe that little colony or whatever had existed into the apocalypse. But I mean, were planes still? Because obviously it was a plane crash.
Yeah. So I thought that's why I was thinking that was more like in the beginning stages of the
around the time when like fear was kicking off.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. I felt like that was happening like in conjunction with fear. Which if it's that far in the future, and it made me go back and crunch the numbers in my mind. I should have crunched them on paper, but I guess it's lining up with where The Walking Dead is when you think about it, because in 10 years you had a 6-year time jump after Rick left, so that's 6 years. I think when they had met the governor up to that point, it had been a year, so that's 7 years. We had about a year and a half jump after the all-out war, so that's 8.5 years. So we're close to the same, being on the side, same timeline. Of course, Fear the Walking Dead's limping way on back in the past.
Yeah, like going into it, I thought it was going to be set a little further in the future than it is. But yeah, I guess it would be about synced up with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, and if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. Again, I wasn't super hooked into this, so therefore I wasn't catching everything as well as I probably should have been. But, I don't know. Like, what do you think Silas did? Why do you think people hate him?
Remind me who that was?
The big guy who was like the kid that was like doing janitor work that they all...
Oh, right. I don't know. He's probably just a dick.
I kept thinking, like, what if Negan encountered this civilization? Which I know they're way the hell away. So, but like, what if Negan would have rolled up to those gates? Would he be like, try to take them over and be like, all right, boys, we ain't messing with them?
God, yeah. If they got helicopters, man, yeah, Negan would be pretty screwed.
I mean, they could just kill him from above.
Oh yeah, man. They wouldn't stand a chance.
So I wonder, I just imagine and it is wild because I mean, I'm thinking in my head this place has got over 1,000 people, and I mean, I know the Commonwealth. Spoilers for the comics, but has around 50,000 people. The Commonwealth is huge, like the last semblance of the United States left. And this place looks like it ain't hurting on people. Ton of people.
Yeah, no, at one point, what, did they drop the number 9,000 or something?
Somewhere in there. I thought it was over 1,000.
For some reason, 9,000 sticks in my head, but I might be wrong. And that might be for
his power levels are over 9,000.
Yeah, not just that one community. That might have been the population as a whole throughout this entire, whatever you want to call it, nation or whatever.
Well, it's very interesting to see RM has got that nobody knows where they're at, what they do, very secretive.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was intriguing. No one's been to where they come from, and everything's cloaked in mystery.
What if their dad is working on Rick Grimes?
That'd be pretty cool. So their whole thing now is they're trying to find a cure.
Yeah, they're doing research and experimenting on people and stuff, and I guess trying to find a cure for this. And it's almost I feel like she kind of wants that guy's daughter to, kind of like the one that made the alcohol. I feel like she's kind of invested in her. I feel like she's, thinking that she might hold some brilliance like her father does. And, I don't know. I'm really, really hoping next week it really picks up. I need to look at how the schedule's going to go because Fear the Walking Dead returns next week. So we're going to have Fear at 9 and then The World Beyond at 10.
I think that's how they're doing it. I might be wrong, but yeah, man, like I said, man, and it might end up being one of those shows, man, week to week, you're just oh, this is a drag, but watching it, like binging it all at once, that it might be one of those kind of shows.
Well, that's what's interesting about The Walking Dead itself. I've got a friend, we have a mutual friend who I remember us saying, season 7 and 8, they definitely had some wonderful moments, but they were so drug out, and it just didn't need to be that long, and he doesn't watch it on TV. He waits until it comes on Netflix, and then he binges the entire season. Mm-hmm. So he said for him, binging it didn't feel drawn out at all. It felt, good. So you do definitely look at it through different lenses when you watch it week to week versus when you're able to just sit and watch it all back to back. I mean, it's not as slow because you can just go on and watch the next episode, whereas we're sitting here waiting, week ahead to see what happens, and even up to 7 months between seasons.
Yeah,
because I think he said he actually skipped season 7 just never got around to watching it, and then when season 8 came out, he sat down and watched season 7 and 8 together, and just thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping next week I'll have a totally different outlook on it, man. I hope they really flesh things out, and
at least you're open to it. At least your mind isn't shut on it just yet.
No, it's not. I just was very, very...
Fear the Walking Dead scarred us.
Yeah, and man, I'm not going to lie. I felt better after the series premiere of Fear than I did after the series premiere last night. The very first episode of Fear, I felt more invested in that than what I watched last night with The World Beyond.
Oh, you mean the very first episode of Fear ever?
Where we meet Nick and Madison. I was like, all right, well, this is kind of fun. He's a junkie and he's got a hot mom, and there's, Victor Strand with his boat being all suave.
I have a boat.
Yeah, I was drawn into that, man. Boat. It kind of was a little hit and miss there until we got into season 2 and 3, but
season 3 for me made me love Fear, and then season 4's first half made me love it even more, and then the second half made me think, oh god, it's like being in a terrible relationship. They start doing better just to keep you there, and then once they think you're gonna stay there, then they just go back to the same old stupid crap. But I'm hopeful. I have high hopes for this show. I mean, the entire point of it, I believe, is to connect the Rick movie to the Walking Dead universe. So let's get into that.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I hope next week's a lot better.
I'm being hopeful, and I'm not going to lie, which we've said this before, but the Fear trailer looks pretty dope.
It does, man. I hope it lives up to that dopeness.
Morgan looking all wild with his red eyes, and
Yeah, and like walkers not being able to detect him or something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Everybody's been saying that Rick is the cure, or that Rick is like he died, but his body restarted. But he, some people think that Rick is technically a walker, but not really, because he came back with his. And then now some people are saying that Morgan is immune, like to this, but. That we'll wait and see. That starts next week, and I'm excited about it. I don't want to stay up till 11 or 12 every night.
I don't either, bro. To start the show at 8 and wrap it up at 10, Jesus Christ.
Don't you miss, I'm glad we get some spinoffs, but don't you miss the good old days when it was Walking Dead at 9, Talking Dead at 10, in bed by like 11-ish?
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't in bed, but at least you were able to not have to focus on anything.
Exactly, man. I was struggling last night. I'm not going to lie to you.
But yeah, so I know we didn't really go in depth hardcore with this episode, but I'm going to be honest with you. There was no, I mean, it was interesting to see, like, her therapist, will say, turn into a zombie, and her have to see her like that, and how they handled it, and I guess how that helped her decision to leave. Mm-hmm. Do you think she's going to end up dying? She keeps having those dreams about being a walker.
Yeah, with like the pulsing lights or whatever.
I thought that was really cool too. Like, I like that.
Visually, that was cool.
I don't mind when they try new things like that. I like how they redid the intro of The Walking Dead to be more comic-y.
Yeah,
Like, I thought that was dope. I thought it was a really good decision. It was, I liked what they had done for years leading up to it, but it was new, it was fresh, and I thought it went very well with the show. But with this, I enjoyed the visual, like the pulses.
Oh, yeah,
all of that.
Very
It's just
stimulating.
Just then it would flash back to, sadly, her dreams were about the most interesting part of the episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're getting cussed out in the comments section for not looking more into it, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, man, and if that had came on at 9 when I was still I don't know, maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if I wasn't.
I was pretty awake, and I wasn't super invested in it, so it wasn't just that. I mean, it wasn't like I told my girlfriend, was like, "Is it good?" I was like, "It's not awful by any means, but it's not sucking me in. Like, I wouldn't feel bad if I had to get up and go pee during the episode or something."
No, like I said, dude, I was in and out the kitchen. I was cooking a lot. I don't know, man. It didn't do a lot for me.
No, so hopefully it will pick up. I mean, I'm being optimistic, man. I'm not ruling it out just yet. Now they're on the road. Mm-hmm. Now they are getting into the schnit, so things are about to get real for these kids. So it could really pick up.
Let's hope. Let us hope.
Let us pray. You ready?
I don't know about that now.
Oh,
I don't know if it's worth all that.
We can't even go to a restaurant without you leading us in prayer, but we can't do it about the future of the world beyond?
Nah, I'm not going to waste the good Lord's time with that.
Good point. No. Good point. But what did you think? I know that, again, I am aware that there is so much more to talk about than what we've covered, and hopefully next week we'll get into it. But as for right now, it really was not as much to discuss on our end. Please let us know in the comments section things that maybe we're wrong about, things that we should because I'm going to go back and rewatch it. So as daunting of a task as that may be.
Well, I think the first episode got a 1 out of 10 on IMDb.
And did it?
45% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So we're not the only ones that were bored by it.
No, I was curious. I was like, man, I wonder what kind of reviews it's getting.
Not very good so far.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
I mean, there should have been some kind of tie-in to Rick. I mean, even if you didn't show Rick, mention we've got a new patient that we're, as promised. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe I missed it. So tell us why we should have loved it if you liked it. If you didn't like it.
IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. So, hey.
And also, if you're just finding us based on this podcast alone, we do have a review of the Walking Dead Season 10, air quotes, finale. And I say air quotes because, of course, we got 6 more episodes coming out for the season before we enter that long 11th final season. So be interested to see where they're going to go from here. But we do talk
good.
about that. We talk about things we like, things we don't like. So, yeah, check that out, too, if you're a Walking Dead fan. And we will catch you back here on Wednesday for Weird Wednesday, which is not Walking Dead related at all. We're either talking paranormal or conspiracy. Sometimes those coincide. And then Patreon exclusive podcasts every Tuesday and Thursday. Be sure to check out our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get 8 extra podcasts, which is not a bad deal. And then Friday, we'll more than likely be back with a Walking Dead What If.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Can't wait for to talk about some weird stuff this Wednesday. And yeah, it'll be all right.
But in the meantime, we got to go get some food. I'm hungry. It's our second podcast of the morning. I am ready to go munch on some food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody else, we will see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.
Bye-bye.
Hit him with that Strand voice.
I just want him to hold me and tell me that the show is going to get better.
Well, boy, do we have a surprise for you. Hey, JP.
Oh,
It's Victor Strand.
I'm melting. I'm
going
melting.
to wrap
right
my
on the
arms
couch.
around you now.
Oh, if only.
Do you consent?
If only.
Okay.
Oh, from your lips.
Smell nice. Have you ever heard of the Barn of Pleasures?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Oh, I'm going to take you there.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
Welcome